One of the great existential questions of the 21st century is how much XRP do I have to own to say enough is enough? When do I stop buying XRP for it to be, up to the standards I want to achieve in 2025 and ultimately beyond as well? Well, this video is for you people, okay? So I want to get you straight into the diagram today, guys, and go through this because ultimately XRP is obviously on the precipice of something very, very important, which is ultimately finally relieving itself of the bearing lawsuit against the SEC. Now, of course, it's gone again back into trial phase, right? The SEC have appealed the decision made by the court to claim XRP is not a security by terms of the utility token itself. So this might drag out a bit longer, but ultimately, if it does come to close by 2025, and my spidey senses are tingling in that sense, this is going to be massive for the price. So ultimately, again, how much do we have to actually own? Is 300 enough? Is it 3,000 enough? Or is 300,000 enough? Now, I want to say before we start, this sheet will be free for you guys to download and use. First link in the description. So again, how much is enough? Well, I want to make something very clear to everyone watching this video for now, okay? And that's XRP is one of the very few altcoins that is poised to absorb, again, true demand. It's solving real-world issues even right now more than pretty much any other cryptocurrency out there, and its target market is as large as it possibly can be, right? We're talking about trillions of dollars every single year, and in my opinion, of course, it'll take part in the new financial system, but not just take part, I believe it'll be intimately connected to the new financial system. That includes obviously message standards, CBDCs, right, central bank digital currencies, bank-to-bank transfers, and you pretty much name it. If it's financial, chances are XRP can process it, right? And the remarkable difference between XRP and its competitors is that it already has a massive foothold in the Web2 markets with the necessary connections and acquisitions to make a dramatic, difference, impact, right? So of course, the chart that I like to show everyone is that, back in 2018, we had only retail speculation, just dumb money pretty much. Over here in the last bull market, we had a little tinsy bit of enterprise demand, 5% max. I believe in 2025, we're going to see about 20% enterprise demand, which is when XRP, XLM, XDC, HBAR, Quant will really start to take off and, spread their wings. But it's not until 2030 where this market will be consumed by the enterprise demand, which is very, very important for us to take advantage of, and is actually something I'm going to come back to in just a second, because for those of you who don't have enough money to adequately buy enough XRP tokens, this is going to be where you truly shine. Let me explain to you in just one second. Again, this is when XRP will take into its element, when enterprises start accepting, and where we have the cut of the crap coins, okay? All these old coins die, and we're probably left with about 2,000. Of course, XRP might even be in that #1 spot. We'll have to see, okay? So here's why I'm making this video. I actually made a video on this touching on XLM, HBAR, XDC, and QNT, which you should go ahead and watch if you like those projects as well. I pretty much run through very similar examples today. And I had all of these questions. Shout out to everyone who left a comment because I listened to what you guys say. As I say, I'm public servant #1 in crypto. Whatever you guys want, I'm going to deliver on, okay? So a lot of you were saying, hey, where's XRP, 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 XRP? So this is for you. Everyone that wants to know, I'm here to help, right? So ultimately, that original video came from a question a subscriber named Tyson. Shout out to you, Tyson, you're a legend. He asked me, Kyron, I love your projects, but essentially, how much do I have to accumulate of the projects you talk about to say enough's enough? And therefore, ultimately, when can I start diversifying into other projects? Because I've pretty much hit the limit of the project I'm buying. And so I answer that question a little bit more detail in this video, so you guys definitely should go ahead and watch it. I'll leave the link down below as well. But actually, I'm going to show you my step-by-step answer. But first, I want to take you through something that is suitable for anyone out there that doesn't have a lot of money right now, the capital to play around with, right? You've sold your liver or you've sold your kidneys and you're looking for just that little bit more, right? How much do you have to actually accumulate? Well, this is going to be that answer, of course. Now, I go through this exact example in multiple other videos, so you guys can, you probably are, if you're OGs, you've seen this multiple times now, but I'll quickly run through it for those who haven't, right? Essentially, this whole exercise where I've got these two sort of charts here is going to pretty much prove to us that compounding is the best method to make the most amount of money from very little. For example, if you spent $1,000 today and bought 1,500 XRP at about 70 cents, which is where it's at right now, and if the price capped out at $5 in 2025, well, guess what? You'd pretty much do simple maths, right? 1,500 tokens multiplied by $5, you'd make $7,500. So, right, you would have turned the 1,000 into 7,500. That's not too bad, but okay, let's say you sold completely out and you had 7,500 cash. Well, if we're being realistic here, chances are you're not going to sell at the exact top. You're going to sell probably somewhere before that. So let's say you sold at $4, right? And you have $6,000, not 7,500, right? And so with that, you know, $6,000, you pretty much reinvest back in XRP, right? So let's just say the price goes to $2 in 2028 and you buy as much as you possibly can, which will be 3,000 XRP. If you sold at the top in 2030, how much would you have? Well, let's just say the price goes to about $50. Again, it could go a lot more, a lot less. We don't really know for certain. But again, this is when XRP is definitely going to shine, as I showed you just before. So 3,000 tokens multiplied by 50, you've made 150 grand. Okay, so in 7 years, you've turned $1,000 into 150,000. Now, here's that question that I get all the time, and I initially thought, and I believed up to about 3 weeks ago now, which was, if you did the same scenario played out, right? You know, $1,000, bought 1,500 XRP at today's price, and you decided to hold on to some of those XRP tokens because you bought it at a really, really good price, right? It'll never hit 70 cents ever again. Well, let's just say you decided to, let's just say, keep 1,000 XRP, but sell 500. Well, again, we're not going to try to time the top here. Okay, let's just say instead of cashing out at $2,500, okay, that 500 XRP gets you 2,000. We sell it at $4 again. Okay, so you're still holding the 1,000 XRP. So what happens? You pretty much use the $2,000 to buy as much as you possibly can, rather. So now you have bought 1,000 XRP, but you're still holding that 1,000 XRP. So what do you get in 2030? Well, you get 2,000 tokens, okay? So you're only making 100 grand opposed to 150 grand. That's a third of your whole entire profits, okay? So you've turned 1,000 into 100,000. That's pretty good. That's 100x. But you definitely could have done a little bit better, 150x your money if you just compounded. So when I say compounded, you've pretty much took all your profits out in 2025 and you've put all your profits back in rather than holding tokens. Remember, for all you guys who watch the channel frequently, you know it's not about the price you buy your tokens at, it's about how many tokens you have. The price only means that you can buy more tokens for a lot less capital, okay? Very, very important distinction. You guys should all know that. That's the bit of alpha for you today. So let's get into it. The step-by-step process is 3 things we have to do. Number 1 is ask yourself, what's your return on investment goals? Sit in a quiet room, for God's sake. Really take your time to think about it. How much do you want overall? Okay, so what you should do is think about XRP in general. So XRP in your case might be, okay, I want to 10x my XRP. And you should do this for every single one of your projects, okay? But you should also know your overall. And if you're going to pick one thing to look at first, it's going to have to be overall. What do you overall want from your portfolio? If you start off with 10,000, do you want $1 million? Easy. That's a 10x, okay? Or 100x rather, okay? So very, very important you identify this because this is going to help us in step 3. So step 2 is do a price prediction for XRP. What you must not do is rely on YouTubers to do this for you, which is a bit of a hypocrisy statement because I'm going to give you guys my price prediction for you today. It's not hard though, but it requires self-integrity. Now, what do I mean by self-integrity? Well, whatever the price comes up at when you do your research, do not get caught up in changing that number. You know, if you're like, oh, XRP should be $1, right? But you know, the price prediction comes up as 50 cents, for example. Oh, well, you know what? Screw it. I might just make it $1 because if it's $1, it's going to fit my narrative and then therefore I can make my 100x gains when in reality, it might not ever hit $1, okay? So I've got some pretty good comprehensive videos out there to teach you guys, teach anyone at any skill level how to pretty well find price prediction, okay, on any project. So I'm going to, again, leave the link in the description for you guys. I know I'm leaving lots of links down below, but that's because I don't want this video to be 45 minutes long, and each of those things takes a very long time to explain, and I just don't want to confuse you by rushing through it, okay? So I will leave the link down below. It'll be titled like price prediction video. Make sure you go ahead and watch it. Again, anyone can go ahead and do that. Use a few tools, and it will really help you. You should do that for every single project. And again, be self-integral. Very, very important, guys. And so in addition to price, it's always important we do something that no one else really talks about, and that's also writing down the market cap size as well. Why? Because this will be easier for us to track when the bull run ramps up. So if XRP, for example, is already smashing its target early on, let's just say early or mid 2024, and I predict the bull market's going to be like late 2025, I think most people do, then you're going to reevaluate your price prediction because we could be grossly underestimating it, okay? So again, I've done the maths for you. Don't worry. I'm going to give you the answers for that today, so do not stress. Now, in future, just for your sake, right, and I go over this in my price prediction video, when you are finding a price, it's simple. It's very, very simple maths. What you do to find both the minimum and maximum level, so minimum was probably where you should take your initial investment out, and maximum was like the best case situation, and we can obviously, plant different sell levels in between. So say it goes to a minimum price here of what you expect it can easily do, and the max is up here. What we got to do is in between ladder sell, okay, up to this point or around that point, and always make sure that it's not stretching yourself too thin, okay? But essentially, to find the price, you just go future market cap, which is hard to find because we have to find how much demand will come into the project, which is pretty well impossible, but we can give it a good guess, divided by future circulating supply, which is pretty easy to do. You just pretty much go through vesting schedules, you account for emissions. What you don't account for is a burn rate. Never account for a burn. Always work on worst case. And so this is what I'm going to do here, right? I'm going to find the minimum and maximum levels. I'm going to work off primarily the minimum is most important, okay? So my price prediction for XRP at a minimum is going to be $3, which again is when you should take your initial investment out, up to best case $15. Now, the reason why I'm saying these two levels to put it in perspective and why it's so important to check your market caps is because the minimum at $3 might sound low. That's a $165 billion market cap, guys. That's almost on par with Ethereum right now. It's crazy, okay? Now, $15 is even crazier. That's an $825 billion market cap. That's more than Bitcoin right now, okay? So you have to remember this is considering one thing, and that's dividing by the circulating supply. Very, very important. I'm using 55 billion tokens. It's a bit hard with XRP. We don't know exactly, but that's a pretty good guess in my opinion, right? And so be very careful with other YouTubers because they'll go ahead and say, hey, look, I reckon they won't even probably give you the minimum for starters. They won't even worry about this. I'll say, oh, I reckon $100 is possible. Well, really? Okay, well, let's talk the minimum, right? The minimum market cap at $5 is $275 billion, and the market cap for the max is 5.5 trillion. And to put that in perspective, guess what? This is the market cap of the whole entire global cryptocurrency market cap, and we only hit $3 trillion actually just before $3 trillion in 2022. 2021-ish, right? So this is why you gotta always think critically and never just run off hopium, okay? So make sure you do this yourself. Again, these are my pretty reasonable numbers I'm guessing for XRP. Again, if the lawsuit goes through, officially everything's settled and it is in XRP's favor, we might find that it actually might get pretty damn close, if not surpass $15. So make that very, very clear, okay? And number three, again, we kind of have to consider step number one in this case. And are you happy with the amount of tokens you have to meet the minimum ROI? So essentially, if you sold all your tokens, 100% of your portfolio, all of your tokens, you sold it all at the minimum, right? Would you be happy with that? Would that satisfy your ROI? So back here in step one, would you be happy if you sold all of your tokens, XRP tokens, at the minimum? Like, let's say the minimum you predict is a 10x, would you be happy? If it's no, if you're banking on the fact that XRP goes up to, let's just say, up to, I don't know, 15x, well, then that might not be very, very good. Of course, we're talking about worst case situation here, which is what we should always do with crypto. So we need to reassess in this case. For example, if you currently hold 3,000 XRP and the minimum price goes to $3, again, imagine you sold all of your tokens at $3, you'd make, 9,000. So whatever you bought these 3,000 for, it could have been $1,000. Maybe you got in early. Maybe you bought all that for like $10 if you got in really early. Okay, all right. Are you happy with that profit? If you got in at $10, right, you're probably pretty happy with that. If you got in at 1,000, you might not be happy with a 9x. So if you're not happy, it's simple. We have to pretty much go down here and go, how many tokens do you have to accumulate for you to be happy at selling at the minimum over here at $3? So for example, you might have to acquire 100,000 tokens because that might get you 300 grand. Okay, so now you're happy. I remember we always work off worst case situation. I'm not telling you guys to sell all your tokens at a minimum price here. I'm just saying, I've always said, sell your initial investment at the minimum, but then it's all bonus from there, okay? Because we're working off worst possible case scenario here. So what do I think is a healthy amount if you're asking me? Well, I would actually challenge you guys to think long-term with XRP here, because again, you won't have to acquire as much capital today, because if you're looking at 20-30 timeframes, again, that $1,000, if played correctly, can turn you into a lot of money, like 150x in 2030, okay? So if you're asking me strictly for 2025, Corin, how much? Well, I would say work back from a minimum of $3 to see how many tokens you have to accumulate. Pretty simple, right? So to get to, 1,000 XRP at current price is $700. That's at the minimum of $3. $3,000, and then you can just pretty much work up. So for example, 10,000 XRP today will net you $30,000. Pretty simple maths, right? So the bigger question here is, in my opinion, what happens if you compound, right? So if you purchase, in my opinion, 4,000 XRP, which I'm going to say is a very good amount, and that's kind of like my estimation. If you're like, Kyron, how much XRP do I have to buy today? The answer is 4,000 at $2,800 at the current price of about 70 cents. Again, minimum in 2025, $3 per XRP, you pretty much make $12,000. So you're more or less just under 10xing here. And then if you compound that in 2026 to 2028's bear market, if the price goes to $2, and you purchase it all at $2, benefit if it goes less than that, you can then buy around about $6,000 worth of XRP. You'd then have about 6,000 XRP tokens, not dollars, you'd have about 6,000 XRP tokens exactly, right? And so with this 6,000 XRP tokens, if the price goes to $25, which is more conservative, in 2030, you would come out with 150 grand. So that is ideal, right? You can see here, you're starting off with $2,800, but you know, as long as you're not heavily focused on 2025, I know, 7 years, oh, boo-hoo, that's so long away. Guys, I'm telling you right now, 7 years, you can imagine you make a lot more money. And hey, it's fun. If you want to go ahead and, 2025 is a be-all and end-all for you, and you're not happy with these returns or these results I'm showing you here, XRP ain't the project for you guys. You can go ahead and say, oh, that minimum might be $10, $15 in 2025. That's on you, because if you're waiting for that and it never gets to that level, you're going to be the sucker holding on for a lot longer than what you'd like to, okay? So again, the reason I go for a minimum is very simple, right? Because we need to have some leeway here, and ultimately because it's the safest possible thing to look at. Again, we don't want to take risks. We want to have the most profitable and realistic numbers as we can. Most people are going to say to me, hey, Kyron, I think that, you shouldn't really look at the minimum because it's going to go higher and we're going to have some leeway here. Again, I disagree. We're going to be as safe as possible. We're not trying to take any chances. And after all, the higher the price goes, the riskier it becomes. Simple as that. The minimum is almost used as a guarantee. Again, take your initial investment out, let the rest ride. Pretty simple stuff. Guys, again, I'll have this down below for you to go ahead and view and to look over, and it takes some more time to look through. Links all down below. You must go through and learn this stuff before the bull market begins taking off. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate every single one of you. Take good care of yourselves. Talk to you soon. Bye.